So I just made my AI agent speak over 100 languages without writing a single line of code. It books rooms, answers questions, and can even handle guest complaints in Russian, English, Spanish, Italian, you name it. It all came from a new workflows update that Vappy released only a couple of days ago, and it's so new that nobody knows you can add almost infinite amount of languages to your AI agent with this. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to turn a basic English bot into a multilingual AI agent that can run an entire business on autopilot. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name's Liam. I help businesses all over the world to implement advanced AI phone agents into their companies. So if you'd like to explore how we can do the same for you, just use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call. I'm limiting the spots at the moment, so I look forward to hearing from you, and now let's dive into the tutorial. Alright, so before I show you how to build one, let me show you what it actually sounds like. So I've prepared a demo for you with 5 different languages, and I'll show you the exact technique to duplicate these languages and add literally as many as you want. It's going to be pretty cool, so let me first of all show you what a live agent sounds like.
Welcome to the Grand Hotel Geneva. I'm Kate. How can I help?
Me gustaría hablar español contigo.
Claro. ¿En qué puedo ayudarte hoy con el Grand Hotel Geneva?
J'aimerais parler français avec toi.
Bien sûr. Comment puis-je vous aider avec le Grand Hotel Geneva?
Und kann ich mit dir jetzt auch Deutsch sprechen? Das wäre super.
Natürlich. Wie kann ich Ihnen mit dem Grand Hotel Geneva weiterhelfen?
Okay, let's continue in English, please.
Sure. What would you like to know about the Grand Hotel
Yeah,
Geneva?
could you tell me the check-in time?
Certainly. The check-in time at the Grand Hotel Geneva is 3 p.m. Is
Okay,
there
great.
anything
And
else
what
you'd
is
like to
your
know?
what is your fee for a spa treatment if I arrive there?
The fee for a spa treatment at the Grand Hotel Geneva starts at 150 Swiss francs. Would you like
Oh,
more
okay.
details on the
Yeah,
services
thanks.
offered?
Good. No, that's it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty cool how it jumps back and forth between these different agents. Now, let me quickly break down what the options were in the past for doing this and why this new update makes languages pretty interesting. So, what were the options in the past? You could either, if you were creating a normal assistant here, you would select a voice that, for example, in 11 Labs could speak a couple different languages. Now, there are some that you can use for almost all different languages, but the main problem with this is that they all have a very thick American accent. The only way to get around the accent is to create multiple assistants, which each have a voice, a special voice just trained on German or Spanish or Russian or whatever. Now, once you've built each individual assistant again and again, you would put it into a squad, like this, for example, and then they could transfer between one another depending on the language. And this works well. There's nothing wrong with this. But the thing that I always didn't like about squads was the annoying in-between messages, because it would always say transferring you now, even if you wanted a silent transfer, or it might say transferring you now twice. It's just a little bit rough around the edges for me to use this in an actual client build. So when the workflows came out, the interesting thing about this is that you can have these global nodes, and they allow you to basically, even though this is a workflow, the AI, as you can see, can jump to these nodes at any point in the conversation. And for example, you could tell the global node prompt here, if the caller wants to speak Russian, jump up here, for example. And the great thing about the nodes is that in each node, you can give it an individual language. But let me actually start from scratch and show you how to set this up from the very beginning. So you're going to create a new workflow. And here, as you can see, we're starting with, we started with a template. Let's actually start from blank so I can show you. And in here, we will start with an introduction. And I'm not going to do a full workflows tutorial. I've actually just made one a couple days ago. Click here to check that out. And for now, what I want to show you is how to use the languages feature. So first thing you've got to keep in mind is that this is the start base, basically. So here what you can do is you can say a welcome sentence like, hey, welcome to the hotel, for example. And then in here, you add a little mini prompt for this specific node. Of course, you also have a big global prompt, but I won't get into that now. In the mini prompt, you can say something like greet the caller and try to identify which language they would like to speak. And then what you've got to make sure is that in the voice settings, you can choose just any voice you want, whichever language you want to start with. But in the transcriber settings, it's important that you choose something like Nova 3 and then language on multilingual, because this enables you, for example, if somebody calls, the agent starts speaking English, because that's just what you've configured this start node to be. If the caller was to start speaking in Spanish now, like I showed you in the example, this AI, if you didn't switch it to a multilingual transcriber, it wouldn't understand what they're saying. So they would have to say in English, "Can I please talk to someone who can speak Spanish?" which defeats the purpose in my opinion. So just make sure that it can understand each language. It doesn't have to speak each language, but the transcriber needs to be able to at least transcribe and understand every language, if that makes sense. Now, to add a language, you click on Add Node, add a conversational node, and then in here, you don't need to add a first message if you want. You can, of course, but I'd usually say something like, help the caller with their questions and then, for example, here you can add Spanish. And then what you've got to do is you've got to activate the global node and then specify a condition. So the AI, this little prompt will specify when is it allowed to just jump over to this node. So for example, jump here if the caller wants to speak Spanish. And now, once again, in the model settings, sorry, not the model, the voice settings and the transcriber settings, change this to Nova 3 and multilingual, so that now if it wants to jump to another language for whatever reason, it can also understand the different language. But in this case, we're going to specify one specific language it can speak, and it can speak that one very well. So here, what I would choose is 11 Labs. You can, of course, choose a lot of different other providers, which all in all offer over 100 different languages. Let's just choose 11 Labs for now. And you'll want to go to the 11 Labs voice library. So you have to create a free account, and then you can access the voices. And in here, you can then click on filters and then filter by language. And as you can see, there's quite a few different languages here. So for example, let's search for Spanish and then apply. And then you can see all the different languages for Spanish. Now, you can already see that some of these can also speak Spanish and another language, or Spanish and German and so on. But since we're already setting it up like this, just choose one that to you sounds very good in Spanish. I cannot judge this because I can't speak Spanish, but let's just pick this one for now. You click on the three dots and copy the voice ID, head back over to VAPI, and then click on Add Voice ID manually and paste that ID into here. And now we've configured this little module to be able to understand every language with the transcriber, but specifically speak Spanish. Now you click on Save. And you can do this as many times as you want. You can add a lot of these different nodes. Just when you duplicate them, make sure to first of all say, in the prompt of this node, you can say, help the caller with their questions in German, for example. Then you've got to configure the global node to jump here if they want to speak German. The transcriber settings you can leave the same, but the voice settings, you'll now want to go back to 11 Labs and choose a voice that speaks German. Right, and then you'll basically go through the whole thing again. You find a voice you like, copy the voice ID, and then add it into here. And as you can see now, we've added already two voices. You can add a third one here. And this just allows you to have smooth transfers, seamless transfers, with also a voice that doesn't have an accent. And by the way, as a side note, if you don't find a good voice that you're looking for, you can always, if you have a paid account, you can always click on plus and then instant voice clone, which allows you to upload your own voice or an audio file of a different voice, which will then clone it. And this is how you can also get very specific dialects or languages that 11 Labs, for example, doesn't have. So the possibilities are quite massive here. Now, you might be asking, Liam, what are these other things at the background? These things like the tools here or the API requests. If you want to find out what those do and how they work, you can watch my most recent video on how the VAPI workflows actually work. And if you want to see another example of me building a complete hotel AI agent, then you can click this video up here, where I also walk you through how this integrates with your hotel-specific knowledge base, how it plugs into your CRM, your booking software and actually takes actions and makes bookings for you. If you'd like to watch those, I've linked them up here and in the description. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I answer every single one. And if you're a business looking to adopt AI and have specific questions on how you can implement this, you can use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call with me. I'll help you with whatever you need, 30 minutes completely for free. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next one.